Good to go.
Good to go?
Should be. Make sure. Yeah.
It's not showing up as live for me.
Sometimes it's a little bit delayed.
It'll be delayed.
Let's see.
But you guys should be good.
Oh, yeah, we're live.
Awesome. Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, a Packer-Cowboy live YouTube. Sorry for the little delay there on the start of this. We were making sure that we were actually live. Paul joined by Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia, and Zach Bloomquist, the best executive producer in the game. And it's really funny. I wish we had a camera on Zach right now, but he is wearing a bright red and yellow sweatshirt that is very similar to that of the Kansas City Chiefs colors. And as everyone knows, producer Zach is a big Dolphins fan. I walk into the house where we're watching the Dolphins game yesterday. He's wearing the exact same sweatshirt. I was like, wait a second. Like, what is going on here? You were trying to reverse jinx, Zach? Is that true?
This is true.
Okay.
Well, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
So just wear your Dolphins gear next time.
It was a good attempt, at the very least, to try and find a big game Tua out of nowhere. But unfortunately, season's over.
I mean, those games just happen in Arrowhead. You know, Arrowhead in the playoffs.
There's never a chance. There's never a chance.
Things just go wrong for the opponents.
Things go wrong for the Dolphins.
There's never a chance.
Ziggy and I did a reaction. You could check that out if you want to watch. But we're not here to talk Dolphins Chiefs. We're here to talk about Jack's Green Bay Packers.
I love, baby. It's go time. It's go time.
Yeah, Jack has bought the I Love Love shirt.
Give me that cheesehead.
From the PaulFarringtonShow.com. Ziggy, I'm rebelling with my Kirk Cousins shirt here. This was the shirt the Vikings players wore when Kirk went down earlier in the year. It was a great Secret Santa gift for my cousin's boyfriend. Huge brownie points in the family. So let's talk a little bit about this Packers-Cowboys game and leave some comments in the chat. Zach is going to be monitoring that with a very sharp eye. He'll be reading out some of the best comments, questions. We're really here just to hang out a little bit before the game. But, you know, as I do now, I listen to Packer podcasts because I'm trying to get as knowledgeable as I can on this team from Green Bay while this run continues throughout the playoffs here. And everyone keeps saying the same thing, that there's no pressure, that they're happy, satisfied with the season the way it is. If they go out, you know, they're not going to be worried watching this game because they've fulfilled every goal they want to fulfill. And I agree that the pressure is limited on this team, but if I were a Packer fan, if my team, if the Vikings were in this situation right here, just because we're young and just because we've overachieved, I would still be, you know, I'm all in on this game. I'm very nervous today because we've seen young teams before who get hot, go on runs, and then struggle to return to that form. You know, the Bengals, even though they're still a very good team, they get to a Super Bowl, and it's hard to get back. You know, Joe Burrow gets injured here. They lose an Arrowhead on that late penalty last year. Think about how many teams get on these runs, and then you're like, okay, we'll be back next season, and it just doesn't happen for a long time. You know, when's the next time Jordan Love's going to be this hot? You know, we think he's going to get better, but is he really going to be playing at this level going into the playoffs every year? Probably not. So I think there's a good chance the Packers actually win this game because of the level that their quarterback's playing.
I mean, in the postseason, too, when there's only a certain handful of teams left, and you reach a point where you feel like, at this point, anybody can win. Look at C.J. Stroud, a young quarterback. The Texans, they're advancing. The Packers are a team in recent years who have had success against the Dallas Cowboys.
They own them.
Yeah, they own them.
They own them.
So with the way Jordan Love is playing, only one interception in his last 8 games. Aaron Jones runs like a madman in this stadium. Why not go into the expectations on winning this game? I think that Aaron Jones today is the most important player on the field for the Green Bay Packers. Mm-hmm. His last 2 games in Dallas, 140 yards and 4 touchdowns. 125 yards and a touchdown. He's a Texas native, a UTEP graduate. He's from the area.
He's so good.
And with how Dallas, how they play offense with Dak and CeeDee Lamb, and they're tough to stop. Green Bay has to run the ball effectively, try to keep them off the field. Aaron Jones is going to be a huge part of today's game plan for Green Bay.
Yeah, and it's good you talk about Aaron Jones when you talk about how much pressure there might be on the Packers, because the fact is there are some older players on this team. I mean, Aaron Jones, he's almost 30. You know, he's the same age as like Derrick Henry, right? So there's not a lot of time left for this team to really take advantage of the window. Jordan Love is going to want to get paid sooner rather than later, I imagine, after the performance he's put together. And he deserves it, right? But, you know, I think like the Seahawks sort of getting together after their final game, like all smoking cigars together, you only get the team you have once, right? This is a thing that, you know, players come and go, but you get certain cultures, certain moods, and those don't persist forever. The Packers, they don't have to worry about their head coach getting fired if they lose this game like the Cowboys do. But you're only going to have this team once for as many games as you're able to win. And goals change throughout the season, right? You know, when we were setting goals, like it'd be nice if Jordan Love's good and maybe they're lucky to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was before we saw this. How disappointing would it be and how much momentum would you lose going into this offseason if you get crushed by Dallas? They don't want that. They want to win.
Oh, what are you throwing at me,
What
Zach?
does Zach have here?
Zach,
Put the helmet on.
Zach has this little Packer helmet right here to throw on the student. No way, man.
throw
No,
it
we
way.
are not
Put it
putting.
right on
We are
the
not
Notre
putting a
Dame.
Packers helmet on the
Not
desk.
Not on
That's
top
not
of the
happening.
Notre
I'll
Dame
put it on
helmet,
with
then.
a
Not on
love
top of my
shirt.
school's helmet.
Then put it on Superman. Does it fit on Superman?
Oh,
That's a good idea.
No,
Mr.
Superman
Mr.
wouldn't be a
Matt, maybe?
Packers.
Does it fit on Superman's
Mr.
head?
Matt?
It could go on Superman, just
Ridiculous.
not on my Notre Dame. Oh my god.
Jordan Love is Superman.
Horrible.
Jordan
maybe.
Love is Superman.
Maybe
And
that's it right
he'll
there.
show it today on the road when he throws for 400
But
yards.
seriously, guys, think about the second half of the season. There's really no one in the NFL hotter than Jordan Love right now.
No.
Was 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think that's what he's had since the Charger game, somewhere going back to that date. Like with him playing this well, that offense can go toe to toe with anyone. I know the Cowboys defense is considered lethal, but they've been susceptible at times. And this Cowboy team, I'd much rather face them than go into San Francisco in round one. As with Philadelphia, the way they're playing, you might rather take on the Eagles, but I'd rather go to Dallas than go to Philly in terms of environments. So, you know, even though you're the 7 seed, this is not a good draw necessarily, or not a favorable draw for Dallas compared to what's the other 2-7? You guys and you know the Bills are like, oh great, we get the Steelers, we should route that game.
Hey, we'll see.
These are different games here. What's going on in the chat right now? I've been seeing that
Anybody?
someone was
Wait,
pumped to see Ziggy.
what are
He
the
said this guy's the G. Aaron.
What are the comments like, Zach?
A lot of Go Pack Go. We have. What do you think the keys are to stopping Dak today, in your guys' opinion?
Oh, we talked about this a little bit on the show that we released Friday. 3 keys for the Packers to win. We talked about the pass rush and how Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith has 12 pressures and 3 sacks in the last 3 games after being quiet most of this season. We really are hoping to have, like from Packers fans' perspective, you're hoping to have a big day from the pass rush to get after Dak. CeeDee Lamb's going to get his yards. That's just going to happen. The dude's amazing. He's playing like a top 5 receiver, top 3 receiver in the NFL. Get after Dak, make him uncomfortable, and have those other guys beat you, I'd say.
Yeah,
You know what's another key to beating Dak, actually, that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about? Getting the Cowboys to do false starts. They're the second highest in the
penalties are
entire
huge, yeah.
NFL in penalties. They're the first in the NFL in pre-snap penalties. If you can get some of those offensive linemen jittery, get some false starts.
Mhm.
I mean, that's exactly what you need. Move, like the difference between 1st and 10 and 1st and 15 is just enormous. It's so hard once you have just 1 false start penalties. How many drives have you seen in the NFL this year where that just kills you? You got to do it.
Is Jair playing today?
Jair and Christian Watson are both questionable. Their game time decisions. It's looking like the pregame warm-up that they have, the workout they have before it, will determine it for each of them. If you're Matt LaFleur, this is you have to play these guys if they can go. I know that you're resting, that you would have 2 healthy guys in their place, but this is, arguably your best receiver and your number 1 cornerback. If they say they can go and you have to trust them to some degree, I'd want them out on the field in this kind of a game.
If Jair's playing, they can't treat him like fully healthy Jair. You can't expect him to lock down CeeDee on his own, but he can be a part of the stop CeeDee Lamb package.
Yeah,
this is why getting to Dak today is so important, because Jair's banged up. Eric Stokes is on IR. This has been a banged up secondary for a large part of the season, but they did a decent job against Minnesota and Justin Jefferson. But today isn't Jaron Hall and
Nick
in
Mullins.
Minnesota and Nick Mullins. It's Dak and CeeDee Lamb. But Rashawn Gary today, the Packers' best defender on the field, is going up against, I believe, one of the worst offensive lineman in the league today.
Retired Steele on
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had his moments, but no, he's been pretty bad recently on the right side of the line.
Like that's the key right there, because your secondary is banged up. C is one of the best weapons in all of football. Dak's an MVP level candidate. Rashawn Gary has to get his today in the backfield.
Yeah, and they've come on recently. I believe over the last 2 or 3 weeks, the Packers have the highest or second highest pressure rate in the NFL. This was something we talked about 4 or 5 weeks ago, that they weren't getting after the quarterback. Tommy DeVito was sacked, 35 times over the course of 4 games. Packers had 0 sacks against him. And it's been a revelation for this defense the past 2 weeks, getting after Fields, getting after the Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall, lethal combination that those two are. I'm looking through the chat right now. A lot of Packer predictions here. Packer wins in the chat.
No,
to no
not
surprise.
Not surprised.
But that's good. That's good. You want to go into these games with some confidence here. It is funny.
We're gonna lose.
We do have a lot of people saying, "Yep, glad to have you guys covering this and cheering for your team." Things like that.
They want us to get a helmet. I think we do agree with them. If the Packers win, we will get a nice.
It's already on Superman's head right now. What do you want?
The Super Bowl or just against Dallas?
No, if they win the Super Bowl, they said if they
the
win the
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl,
yeah,
we will
different.
get a Packers helmet of the size of the Giants and the Steelers right here.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that.
deal.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
If they
yeah,
win,
deal
I
all
said if
day.
they win today, I'll show up in Packer gear. I already have the jersey lined up. Like,
Go Pack, go.
No, we're not chanting
Go,
that. We're not
Pack,
chanting
go.
that. But if the Packers win, yes, I'll wear a Packers jersey. I'll try and find a hat or something. You guys can take pictures. You ever see How I Met Your Mother?
Actually haven't.
Great show. One of the main characters is a huge Vikings fan. There's an episode where he's driving through Green Bay and he's just miserable. He's like, I hate, I'm in the land of evil right here. And as his wife gets mad at him, and as a punishment, she has him stop at a Packers store and dress in Packers gear with a cheese head, and he just looks miserable the entire. Like, that would be me. I would be in hell wearing this jersey here. But we'll see if they're able to get the job done here. So, Jack, when you sit down at 4:30 to watch this game, what do you actually think will happen? Because I know we're talking about all the different ways the Packers can win, but what is your actual prediction for this game?
Oh, I don't want to tell you my actual prediction in front of all these Packers fans listening to us today. And
It's this 2-7 game. This Dallas team scores 40 points at home.
I got this.
It's okay.
I love shirt. I love all these Packers fans showing us love day in and day out. One quick thing before I tell you what I think is going to happen is the Cowboys this season are 0-4 when they don't force a turnover. Jordan Love only 1 pick in his last 8 games. So if this Packers team can play a clean game, and it's a tall ask with a young and experienced squad on the road in the playoffs, if they play a clean game, and this Dallas team has 4 or 5 solid pass rushers, including Micah Parsons, so it will be tough. But if they play turnover free, I will take Green Bay to win this game on the road. However, what I think will happen.
Can you hear the boos right now already?
Yes, I hear them loud and clear in my ears. What I think is going to happen is a Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb masterclass against a weakened Packers secondary.
Here goes everyone out of the show.
I know. I think that Jordan Love, a little bit of experience, his first playoff start on the road against a team who has a lot of pressure. I think Dallas wins this game, and they win it pretty big. And I hate to say this. I think Jordan Love struggles today. I really do. I think he's going to struggle.
I don't think he's going to.
I hate to say it. But I think he's going to struggle. I think he turns the ball over a couple times. I think Dallas has their way and wins this game. But I hope that I'm wrong. I really do hope that I'm wrong. I got the I Love Love shirt on.
Him know.
But I know. Look, I'm ready. I'm
Oh,
ready.
they hate this guy.
I want to eat some cheese. I want to eat some cheese and drink some beer and root for you guys. But I don't think that you guys win this game. I hate to say it. I really do.
Yeah, here we go. Everyone's booing this. Ziggy, do you agree with that?
So I can't believe I'm saying this. I've said this over and over again. I've talked myself into thinking the Packers are going to win this game. And I'll tell you, here's one thing that stands out to me. In all the games Dallas has played this season, where they've been trailing at any point after the first quarter, they're 2-5. So if you can just keep up with the initial gut punch from Dallas, stay in the game, keep it close and get a slight lead somewhere in that second or third quarter, they're not only unbeatable, they struggle in those kinds of games. And we've seen Dallas has had some slow starts when you can get after the quarterback, and they've had some slow starts when the opposing quarterback is able to play all right. I have some belief in this offensive line. I really do. Going back and looking at the tape, particularly the Steelers game. I mean, Jack, shutting down TJ Watt one-on-one is not easy. Packers have guys who can do that. They'll be okay against Micah Parsons. And then it's going to be the Jordan Love and Dontavian Wicks show. Maybe that's my UVA student showing a little bit because, of course, UVA grad. But I'm really feeling it just feels like everything is converging for the Packers.
The chat is phenomenal right now. I get him out of here. They're booing. This guy stinks. Get him off the stream. Shut off his mic.
I mean, look,
hey,
if nothing else.
Look, I did say that if you guys don't turn the football over today, I think they're going to win. However, I think the football is going to be turned over today.
But here's how you don't turn the ball over.
He's a hero right now.
Here's how you don't turn the ball over.
If Aaron Jones goes over 100 yards again today, they got a shot. Under 100 yards, they have no chance. I think it's
the Cowboys have a below average run defense. It's Aaron Jones's time.
Well, we talked about listen to these numbers. Aaron Jones against the Cowboys. This is his career.
Oh yeah, no,
he's 3-0 against them. Total yards 134 and a touchdown. 182 and 4. Do you remember that game? You had him against me in fantasy.
4 touchdowns.
182 and 4 touchdowns. You were down 60 to me. And
I thought it was 140.
Aaron Jones,
it was 180.
It's total yards. Total yards.
Okay.
Aaron Jones is in the end zone, holding up a 4 to the television. I swear to God, he was talking to me that day, mocking me on the street. It was horrible. And last year, 156 yards and a touchdown. The past 3 weeks on the ground, this Green Bay offense is averaging 154 yards. It's crazy that the Packers, we keep saying this, but from where they were 2 months ago, right now, every single person on that team seems to be playing their best football. I don't know if that's a testament to LaFleur. I think he's a decent head coach. I just think things are coming together at the right time where you have Jones picking up right where he left off from week 1. The defense, everyone coming on, like we said. And then most importantly, of course, is Jordan Love. But the one thing about this Packer offense that's kind of unique compared to the rest of the NFL is when you look at their receiving room, and Ziggy, you just brought this up, they have so many different people who can hurt you, where if they're all healthy, I'm just talking receivers because Musgrave's a good tight end. They have other weapons too. But that receiving room runs 4, 5 deep if you include Bo Melton. I really think that you can't think of too many receiving rooms where you don't have a superstar really, but you have 4 guys who can take turns picking you apart. So I want to ask you guys, I want to ask the chat too, if you guys could rank your 4 receivers, we'll leave Bo Melton out of this, but between Watson, Dontavian Wicks.
Oh, hold on. I got an update.
Please.
I'm watching Jair Alexander test his ankle right now. He is absolutely playing. He looks so good.
This dude's a Packer fan.
He's a Packers fan. So are you.
I'll say it. I'm fine. I hate the Cowboys. They stole Greg Zuerlein from my Rams. Right when I was watching, back when I was watching the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
No, I hate the Cowboys too.
Yeah, who wants to see? I mean, there are so many teams that I would pick over the Packers. But the Cowboys are just there's something deep within me that says I hate this team. I'd be so happy to see a young, exciting team come out and kick their ass. I just would.
I want to make it clear to everybody that I'm rooting for Green Bay today. I'm not rooting for Dallas. I'm rooting hard for Green Bay.
You just have your money on Dallas.
Yeah. But I'm rooting for the Green Bay Packers today. I want to see you guys advance to San Francisco.
So back to this question here, and we'll go to the hopefully not closeted Packer fan Ziggy first. Between those 4 receivers, Reed, Wicks, Watson, and Dobbs, how would you rank them 1 to 4? If you were starting a team tomorrow, you had to take one of them to lead your receiving room. It looks like most people here are talking about Reed as their 1. Yeah.
So I get why people are excited about Reed, and I think this is fair. I've got him right there at number 2. But Watson physically, I think, is a lot more exciting as a player. And I think it's easy because he hasn't played during this revitalized Packers stretch. I think it's pretty easy, even for fans who watch the team, to sort of forget what this guy can do when he's healthy. In particular, last year, He was like one of the most important guys on this team. I like Watson a little bit more for the upside, but Reed's still very good. And then it's Wicks, and then it's Dobbs. But I mean, any of them are starting NFL receivers on most teams. I'm not saying wide receiver 1, but like all of these are competent. All 4 of these guys would be at least the second best receiver on the Chiefs.
Maybe a few of them on the Chiefs I think would be the best.
A healthy Christian Watson is their number 1 receiver. And I feel like people have kind of forgotten that, as Ziggy said. But right now, at this very moment, I'd probably put Reed number 1 too. I'd probably go Reed, Watson, Wicks, and Dobbs.
I agree with this comment here. It's Widest Hardo. Widest Hardo says a lot of Packers fans have forgotten how truly dominant Watson can be when he's on the field.
Yeah.
Even in that Chiefs game, I know he wasn't dominant in that game, so to say, but that was one of the games where he was starting to feel healthier again before he pulled up late in the game with the hamstring. You do forget that this dude, when he's healthy, is really, really good.
So physically gifted, too.
Yeah, and I know someone else is saying he just runs straight lines, but, I disagree. I think he's a great guy to have on the field for a game like today. That's where if he's 80%, even though that's not 100% healthy there, he's good enough where I'd put him on the field because he makes an impact. He's going to draw attention. And, that's something we can't forget here. When you have 4 guys who can make an impact or 5 guys, having your best dude out there to draw the most attention, that's only going to open up the field more for guys like Wicks and Jaden Reed. It's what's fun to watch about this Packer offense when you have 6 guys on the field who can hurt you. It makes it tough for as good a defense as Dallas has. It makes it tough for them to defend everybody. Zach, what are you smiling at over here?
I'm reading. Merle's really stirring the pot.
Oh, what's Merle up to?
We love Merle.
What's Merle up to?
Merle said all those guys would be wide receiver 4 on the Vikings.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, the 6'11".
I mean, it's not their fault. KJ Osborne is one of the best receivers in the NFL. I will say this. Here is something to watch this game as we're talking about the receivers. The Cowboys are super man heavy. They're the 3rd man heaviest team in the NFL. And a lot of these Packers receivers, particularly Christian Watson, if he can play, excel against man coverage. Like if you look at the numbers and the splits when they're playing zone versus when they're playing man, because these guys are so good after the catch and they're excellent route runners, that is a vulnerability I think LaFleur is going to be planning to exploit this week.
Here's a comment. If the Pack win, Ziggy needs to get a cheese head hat. You might have one somewhere in your closet.
Oh, what are you doing here, man?
I'm just saying, I do this with a smile on my face, but this is like, more of like a joke or like, I'm painting it on. I'm trying to pretend to be happy here for the Packer fans. Ziggy, this is genuine enthusiasm from you.
Look, here's what I love more than anything or any team allegiance. I like watching good football.
Fair enough.
And this Packers team over the second half of the season has been good football. Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say, boo, it's unexciting football, I hate it?
Ziggy,
Sucks.
can you sign my Jordan Love jersey?
Yeah, remember, Ziggy also, Paul, you've been a Vikings fan since birth. Ziggy's bounced around. Like, he's been Rams.
I worked hard to recruit him.
Yeah.
And that was a big sign. That was like a 4 or 5 star sign.
So it's easier for Ziggy to jump ship from a team he didn't,
He's
grow
not
up
gone.
with.
He's not gone. He's not gone yet.
What are you talking?
I don't know. I think he might be gone.
What?
I think you might be gone, Ziggy.
This is garbage.
I think you might be a Packer fan. Look at me. I'm in my Jordan Love shirt.
This is
I might
really
be there too.
This was really bad on my end because I kind of just threw Ziggy to the Sharks. Like, they smelled blood in the water between me and Ziggy, and immediately I was like, no. Like, Ziggy might be the guy you convert, not me. Like, this is really bad on my end to just throw away the guy I recruited for 4 years.
Can I ask all these Packers fans who they think is the most dangerous number 7 seed in the playoffs right now? The Packers or the Steelers?
What? Jack. Jordan Love or Mason Rudolph? Who are you more scared
of? Would I be
of?
nuts to say Pittsburgh?
Yes.
I think your chance was the Blizzard. You had to play in the game where no one could get to the game because you probably crashed your car in the snow. And
I'll tell you this: if Jordan Love suffers the same injury TJ Watt did, then we can talk. Without TJ Watt, you guys are not a team. I'm sorry.
I keep forgetting Watt's out for that.
Yeah, that is very bad. Very bad.
It is great for Green Bay, the injury report. I know Jair had the freak injury and Watson's sort of on the fence right now. But otherwise, this team is, for the most part, fairly healthy going into this game, which is a great sign compared to bounce around the league a lot of teams are dealing with big injuries. Ziggy, what are you reading right now that's got your attention?
Yes, he's reading the comments.
These comments are just
Steelers suck,
insane.
yeah.
Ziggy is the type of guy I want my daughter to bring home.
Oh,
Who types this crap?
maybe.
Wait, who is that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
Mr. Yuji Vaughn.
Does he have a daughter?
Yeah, Ziggy.
Ziggy is the kind of guy
Ziggy
you
is
yeah.
single, so if you want to slide
Yeah,
in Ziggy's DMs,
Ziggy is single. I mean,
Go
so
go
are
find
all of us.
his DMs.
So are all of us. If you have any daughters or sisters, anybody?
Some of us might be, you know.
Oh.
You had one date.
Oh, we're going on date 2. Easy there, buddy.
Okay, so
Oh,
overall,
Paul, thank all the fans for being here. We got 477 of them.
yeah, no, it's awesome. We appreciate it. We have almost 500 people now in the chat, and everyone has been commenting the entire live stream. We'll clap it up for all the Packer fans.
Go,
we'll keep going.
Pack, go.
No.
Go, Pack,
No, cut it out.
Pack,
Cut it
go.
out.
Go, Pack, go.
Did you see
Go, Pack,
on
go.
the one of the 2 shows we did earlier this week? I'm closing it out with Ziggy, and I go to say like, and good luck or like a go Pack, something like that to the Packer fans. And then I went like, wait, what the hell am I doing here? I said, all right, I hope everyone plays a good game this weekend. And Ziggy was like, wait, what are you talking about?
I'm excited to watch Jordan Love play today. Like, I really am.
No.
I mean, he's been slinging the ball around amazingly.
Well, I said this a couple weeks ago that after the Viking game on New Year's Eve,
He looks amazing.
It
in
was
that
the
game.
first time where I've thought Jordan Love has gotten better all season long, and I've seen things that have superstar elements to it, but driving home on New Year's after watching that game was the first time I was sitting in the car, just a blind look on my face, staring out to nothing, glossy eyes. I was like, oh my God, that looked like a stud. Like that looked like the exact thing I feared could happen. I never thought this whole season Jordan Love could elevate to the top 10 quarterback in the league. And after that game, it all hit me at once, and I was just staring out at nothing going, oh my God. They may have done it.
No, I think that in the last 8 weeks of the season, he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
He would, if you had an MVP for the second half of the year, it would be
like
Jordan
the
Love.
best. Like not number 2, not number 3. I think he's the best in the NFL in the last 8 weeks of the season.
Oh,
I'm dead serious.
and that's why you should be confident going. That's the thing you have to be confident going into this game. How many people in the league have been as hot as Dak Prescott this year? Jordan Love over the past 10 weeks is on that level.
This Packers offense too strikes me as a bunch who just would go nuts in a dome offensively.
No,
I don't know why I say. I don't know why I say that, but I just have that feel.
Well, they seem calm too. They seem, as the years gone on, in big situations, it seemed like Love would get a little jittery. Remember the Atlanta game? I know he made it. I can't remember who he threw it to, but he had a nice throw over the middle that was dropped. But they wound up losing that game. They lost in Vegas. He threw a pick. They lost in Denver, right, late in that game. There were a certain number of game-winning opportunities where they came up short, and Love would make a mistake late in the game. But as the year went on, you started to see that flip, and all of a sudden he seemed much calmer and was in control of that offense. Last week against Chicago, with the game on the line, they're backed up. Jaden Reed's done nothing the whole game. He starts to explode down the stretch, and you don't give Chicago the ball back. Maybe they wouldn't have scored. I don't have a lot of faith in Justin Fields' offense right now, but the thing was, you never gave them a chance, and that's what you've seen the past 10 weeks is the maturity of Love and the growth into a player who delivers in big situations.
And we're crediting all these Packers receivers, and for good reason. These guys have become very solid. But it reminds me of a situation a little bit in Houston. Like CJ Stroud and his play has elevated who he has around him. And these receivers, we wouldn't be talking about them as highly as we are without the way Jordan Love's been playing.
No, they're extremely talented, but they're going hand in hand right now. And that's what's
Yeah.
cool is they're also young.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, they're also young and they fit perfectly together where it's just blended into this magical run to the playoffs.
I mean, these young guys might just go F around and win this game.
Here's a PY314 says going to see 3 QBs win chips in my lifetime. Blessed, LOL. Dude, you know what? You have no idea what it's like on the other side of the border here.
You Packers fan has woken the beast of Paul.
No, it's so infuriating seeing it just one after. Like there's no gap. There wasn't one failed quarterback here.
This is why I have to let myself get excited for Jordan Love, right? Because it's this or despair, right? Because like if Jaron Hall were drafted by the Packers, he'd sit for a year and then come out looking like Patrick Mahomes.
He'd be
Like, this is just,
amazing.
yeah, like it's unbelievable how the Packers seem to just have this edge as an organization to just do things the right way every
It's a
time.
blue sky franchise, man.
No, it is. How many blue
What can I
sky
tell ya?
franchises are there? The Green Bay is very
Green
clearly
Bay, the
the
Steelers.
Steelers. That's my top two. I don't think it's particularly close there. That actually might be it.
That might be it.
That
yeah.
might be it.
I wouldn't
The
even
Ch-
say like the Patriots. They just had a dynasty.
Yeah, they just had,
Yeah,
they just
the
had greatest
Patriots had a
quarterback
good
ever.
run. If the Chiefs can manage things well after Mahomes, they could be up there.
No,
Like,
but
they've
they
done a
went so
great
long.
job.
You know what it is?
Dude, the Chiefs sucked for a while.
This is
though.
where it sucks here.
Like, Green Bay never sucks.
But the Steelers and the Packers
Pittsburgh never sucks.
generally both have very good leadership. You know, I know that there's guys who come in and mess it up a little bit, but for the most part, these are two organizations that make smart decisions consistently.
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry about like David Tepper coming in and ruining your team if you're a Packers fan.
Yeah, here's Baltimore's usually competitive. I don't know if I'd say blue sky. The way I view blue sky is that they're very good organizations, and then also things kind of break their way once in a while. And Green Bay and the Steelers are like that. You know, dark cloud franchises, Vikings, Browns, Lions.
Yeah, like knowing the
Jaguars? Not
Lions, say they're
Jaguars.
gonna lose by like 40 at home in their first playoff game.
And
in 30
Stafford will be running around the stadium.
years. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen tonight.
I wanted to ask you guys. Oh wait, did you have something?
Yeah, do we? If Green Bay makes the Super Bowl, do we go and do a live show in a Packer bar in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
If the Packers make the Super Bowl, we could do a game. We could do a live show tailgating at the game.
we could do that. Like,
To Vegas?
Can we ask these Packer fans what the best sports bar in Green Bay would be to
Oh,
put
yeah.
on a live show?
Yeah, what is
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
What's the best sport? If
yeah,
we go to a
if
game
we
next year,
showed
maybe we
up.
go to Vikings Packers next
Yeah,
year.
a game, a live show, whatever. Like, what's the best sports bar in Green Bay to show up
Not
to?
even for a show necessarily, just to go and hang
No,
out.
yeah,
Because
just to
I
go.
wanted to
Yeah,
go there
just to go.
my entire life. I have family friends who live, where is it? Menominee Falls, I think, right now, or they just in that area. I've wanted to go and visit them and then head over to a Viking Packer game. My sister goes to UW Madison. We have a lot of Wisconsin connections. Notre Dame actually plays Wisconsin there in 2026. Always wanted to go to Lambeau Field. So maybe Vikings Packers next year. We do a little
Yeah,
trip
like, where's
out.
a good sports bar for us to
A
hang
lot
out?
of people say Stadium View
Stadium view. Do you get a
Krolls.
good view of the stadium?
and doozies. Yeah.
Is there a stadium view?
And yes, you know what? Everyone's given different bars here. I forgot we're talking about Green Bay, Wisconsin. There's probably like 10, 12, 20 different bars that are unbelievable.
Congratulations, another year. This
Well,
is
I mean,
the
there's-
drunkest city in the country. Green Bay,
They
Wisconsin.
have a good time. Wisconsin's
They
awesome.
got a good
I
time.
love
No, the
Wisconsin.
top 4 drunkest cities were all in Wisconsin. It was like Eau Claire,
They have fun there.
Madison.
Oh, the night I had out in Madison when I visited my sister was there was like a little towny bar called Jordan's. I had so much fun walking in there. It was my first year working, so I finally had some adult money. And the bar is like $2 for a beer.
Yeah.
So my sister's there with all her friends. They're just like, you know what? Screw this. Like, I'm getting drinks for everyone. It was great. I spent like $100 on the entire night, but everyone had the time of their life. It was awesome.
The Spotted Cow. You only get that in
dude,
Wisconsin.
Spotted Cow might be my favorite beer.
Oh, I remember I had my first.
The Packer fans can sense it right now. They're like, oh man, we have these guys
No, I had
on
my
the
first
ropes.
Spotted Cow in Milwaukee. I used my fake ID when I was 20, and I was at a bar called Sobelman's. It was very good, and the waitress offered me a Spotted Cow, and I drank it. I'm like, ma'am, get me one more. Like, get me 2 more.
Please, please.
Get me 3 more. It was amazing stuff.
Minnesota's just as drunk. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I think they were like 4 and 5 in terms of drunkest cities. They had, like,
Ishan, we're all about 25 years old now.
yeah,
We're all about.
so I don't
25
got a
years old.
fake anymore.
Yeah, so now we can go. No, I like Spot Cow a lot.
Yeah.
To real quick bounce back to the Packers.
Are these fans more interested in the game today or our takes on Wisconsin bars?
Well, actually, or our takes on their reaction to these bars.
Right,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
Yeah.
our takes on their reaction or the Packers themselves.
Wisconsin's a Quick Trip. Quick Trip is great. I love going there. It's a phenomenal place. Like, they know how to live out in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It is a different lifestyle. The one question I did have for you guys, another young quarterback, 2 teams that are in similar situations are the Texans and the Packers, where they're both really young. They both have limited to no playoff experience on their rosters, at least on the offensive side of the ball. if you could compare CJ Stroud and Jordan Love, because Jordan Love has relatively gone under the radar despite the hot stretch. We've all talked about us being one of the only people, talking about the Packers during this run, which is so strange considering the size of their fan base, the passion of their fan base, the run that they're having. While CJ Stroud, he was injured for a little bit, so that slowed down the momentum. But he's been someone that everyone's they're throwing out the stats for rookie quarterbacks. They're throwing out his leading the Texans, who everyone picked to finish last in the league. When you compare the two of them, and Packer fans, please let me know in the comment section here. Would you guys is that close to you? Would you much rather have Stroud than Jordan Love, or would Packer fans, are you happy with your guy? Would you take him over the other young quarterback in Houston?
No, if I'm a Packers fan, I'm not taking CJ Stroud over Jordan Love. I think overall this season, from start to finish, and obviously Packers fans will say this is true as well, I believe that Stroud's been a little better. But Jordan Love the last 8 weeks has shown us what he's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. And like we said, in the last 8 weeks, I believe he was the best quarterback in the NFL. So CJ Stroud throughout the season showed me a little bit more consistency and playing well for a longer stretch. But Jordan Love has shown that he can be just as good, if not better, than CJ Stroud. So I'm obviously taking Jordan Love from a Packer fan. Not one of these guys would
no.
say,
They are all saying
Love. These guys would take Jordan Love over Patrick Mahomes.
Not one would say Stroud. I would take Love on Green Bay.
But do you know?
They're not saying that they wouldn't take Stroud, but like.
Yeah,
I think the reason to take Stroud is because he's got that rookie contract and it's just his first year. Jordan Love, as long as he maintains the level of play he showed in the second half of the season, better than Stroud.
Really? Because I'm not asking about contract situations. I'm saying, I think a game tomorrow. Who do you want quarterbacking your team?
If you ask, so who played second better over the second half of the season? Love by a mile. Stroud played pretty well. Don't get me wrong. Beat a couple stinkers in there. Jordan Love was consistently excellent for the second half of the season. So if they continue playing at those levels, maybe a little improvement from Stroud, a little improvement from Love, Jordan Love's the better player.
Yeah, someone here says, Prod Lil Sip says, Love isn't better than Stroud, but he doesn't need to be. I would agree. If you gave me one quarterback to win a game, I'm going to pick CJ Stroud. But the very fact that we are having this conversation right here, given that people are talking, I said yesterday, Stroud's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
No,
top 5.
I believe that I said week 1 that I don't think Love will win a game in the NFL.
So, yeah, I rattled off.
I believe that I said that.
I said Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Burrow, Stroud. The fact that we're talking about Jordan Love being neck and neck with him is sickening.
We were all sitting here saying, like, this Green Bay team stinks. Like,
they did. That's what's so stunning.
They were awful.
They did. They were 2-5.
I'm like, these guys are horrendous. I said, Love is one of the worst I've ever seen. And now I'm sitting here saying Love is one of the best I've ever seen.
No, it's one of the best stories in the NFL this year is the turnaround. It's like the freaking
best I've ever seen.
It's like the Mighty Ducks over here. They were horrible, and now they're going on this run, and they're going to be good for a long time. That's the benefit here when you nail that quarterback pick, and it all lines up with the timeline. Now you have a team that's ready to compete for the next 5 years. A win today, though. Think about what that does heading into next season, too, because everyone's happy. We're in the playoffs. That's great. If you lose a close game, still an awesome year. Yes, I agree with everyone who's saying that. Still an awesome year. But if you go and win today, regardless, and I think after that, you're thinking Super Bowl if you win today. But let's say the season ends in San Francisco next week. How unbelievably successful. You're coming in next year with Super Bowl aspirations in Green Bay.
Yeah,
you're
100%.
Trying to figure out how you match up with San Francisco. Now you're not just reloading. You are gearing your team towards beating the number 1 seed.
And I mean, you're telling me, right? Let's say Dallas goes in there or Green Bay goes in there and beats Dallas and then finds a way to beat San Francisco. You're telling me they won't go to Detroit and kick the crap out of the Lions in the NFC Championship game. You're talking blue sky versus ultimate dark cloud. You're telling me if it's Detroit versus Green Bay.
We all know. We all know what will happen in that game.
If Green Bay were to win the win round 2 in San Francisco, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no. The next 2 weeks, if they win those two, there's imagine there's Chicago going into that game with the playoffs on the line, Bears at Packers. Like, there are teams that could go in and upset Green Bay in that situation. But the Chicago Bears
no way that was ever
are
happening.
not going into that situation and winning. Let's see what else we got here in the comments right now. I do like your Mighty Ducks. I meant to say Bad News Bears. That's who I was actually going for. I don't know why I went hockey in my head. But yeah, it's going to be, I think this will be one of the more entertaining games of the weekend. Obviously, yesterday wasn't particularly thrilling, but whenever you have Packers-Cowboys, it does just have a certain energy to it. Someone asked earlier, do you think it's going to be a big-time Green Bay crowd? Like, do you think Green Bay will travel well to this one? They normally do.
I mean, I'm going to say that it's definitely, I don't think it'll be 50-50. Though I don't think it'll be more Dallas. But I could see a 65-35 split. I mean, I don't believe that Dallas...
You take that if you're Green Bay.
I don't think Dallas is a super fantastic home field advantage. Green Bay, like the Steelers, travel unbelievably. So, yeah, I'd say 2/3 Cowboys, 1/3 Packers.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
Okay.
I mean, there was the Packers website just showed a video. They shared it yesterday of a Cowboys bar in Dallas being overrun with people in Packers gear. And admittedly, they organized this, right? But like, there are Packers fans in droves in suburban Dallas getting ready to show up. I don't think it's going to be 50-50, but I think it's going to be pretty close. I mean, Packers fans always travel, but a game like this, you've got to be thinking, if we can travel, make it loud, make Dak Prescott make some mistakes, they could actually be difference makers in a playoff game.
I'd say, what, 70-30 maybe?
Yeah, I mean, something like that. So, people talk about the Cowboys having this, like, threatening home atmosphere. I've never felt that way about the Dallas crowd. I think that sometimes they get a little bit overrun.
No, AT&T is a quiet stadium. It's a big stadium that is just not doesn't get loud.
You guys have been there before.
I've been there twice.
We were there for a Rose Bowl. Yeah, that's right.
I've been there twice. It is a fun place.
And they got that big screen.
Oh, dude, the stadium is massive. It's a very cool stadium
also,
to go to.
Tomorrow is an off day for MLK Day. If Green Bay wins this game, I mean, could you imagine what those Green Bay bars will be like tonight? Could you imagine? I mean, I don't want to be there.
No, it'll be.
I mean, the Monday being off has to help with the travel too. If you're a Packers fan who lives somewhere in the area, but you're thinking we got to travel into Dallas, you can make it work.
Well, all right. I think this has been a pretty good live show here. We could call this an episode. Almost 650 people listening. We appreciate everyone.
Thank you.
Who's joined in with us today, and we'll see you live after, or not live, but we'll see you for a reaction after the Cowboys and Packers.
We'll get it out as fast as we can.
Go Packers.
Because whatever happens, this game is going to be exciting. I'm really feeling like we're